David Duchovny has long been the chameleon of screen charisma, slipping from the paranoid precision of Fox Mulder in The X-Files to the wry detachment of Hank Moody in Californication with a grace that belies the emotional acrobatics required. At 65, with a career spanning decades of probing the human psyche's darker corners, he's now sinking his teeth into a role that promises to be his most unapologetically villainous yet. Jamie Tanner, the arrogant patriarch at the heart of Amazon Video's gripping thriller series Malice. In an exclusive conversation, Duchovny peels back the layers of this character, revealing not just the thrill of playing a monster, but the profound challenge of humanizing one. "It makes me sick as a person," he confesses with a self-deprecating chuckle, his voice carrying that familiar New York lilt honed from years in the spotlight. "But it's fun to play as an actor because it's foreign to my way of thinking. That's the challenge of it." There's a spark in his eyes as he speaks, a mix of intellectual curiosity and boyish glee, that underscores why Duchovny remains a force. He doesn't just inhabit roles, he dissects them, turning discomfort into artistry. Malice, a 6-episode descent into familial vendetta crafted by James Wood, unfolds like a psychological scalpel, slicing through the veneer of wealth and power. At its core is Adam Healy, portrayed with sly charm by Jack Whitehall, a tutor whose unassuming facade masks a relentless quest to dismantle the Tanner dynasty. Enter Jamie Tanner, Duchovny's towering ego incarnate, a man whose certainty is as armored as his fortune. Jamie isn't a cartoonish tyrant. He's the insidious sort whose manipulations echo in boardrooms and bedrooms alike, his past sins reverberating like ghosts in a haunted manor. This is a guy who, even though he has all this power and certainty and money, there's an episode of actions that he's taken in the past that have echoes and come back to haunt him, Duchovny explains, his words measured as if mapping the character's fractured psyche in real time. The series, which premiered on November 14th, thrives on this tension. Whitehall's calculated strikes clashing against Duchovny's impenetrable front, with supporting turns from Chris Van Houten as a steely ally, Phoenix LaRoche adding youthful fire, and Teddy Allen grounding the ensemble in quiet menace. What drew Duchovny to Jamie beyond the surface allure of villainy, was the egotism's seductive pull, a trait he probes with the rigor of a method actor dissecting a Freudian riddle. "I thought to myself, can I pull that off and also make him a human being? A real human being?" he muses, leaning forward as if confiding in a late-night confessional. It's a question that harks back to his X-Files days, where Mulder's obsessions humanized the paranormal. Here, Jamie's arrogance demands a similar alchemy. Duchovny relishes the tingle of such challenges, that electric hum when a role stretches his range into uncharted territory. "I had not played a guy like that," he admits, a rarity for an actor whose resume brims with anti-heroes and intellectuals. Jamie's monstrosity isn't overt, no cackling monologues or bloodied hands, but subtle, woven into micro-expressions, a dismissive glance that cuts deeper than words, a paternal lecture laced with control. "It's almost like playing a monster, and it's fun to play a monster," Duchovny elaborates. But he doesn't think of himself as a monster, and you can't do that either. This empathy is key. To portray Jamie convincingly, Duchovny must fully embrace him, slipping past personal revulsion to uncover the wounded boy beneath the tycoon's bluster. The preparation for such immersion is Duchovny's secret sauce, a blend of intellectual foraging and visceral surrender. He dives into psychological texts, perhaps revisiting Nietzsche on power's corrupting whisper or modern studies on narcissistic personality disorders, to build Jamie's worldview. Then comes the physicality, adopting a posture of unassailable command, shoulders squared like a king on his throne, voice dropping to a timbre that commands without raising. On set, amid the Amazon Studios' recreated opulence, marble-floored estates, shadowed libraries stocked with leather-bound tomes, Duchovny channels this into scenes that crackle with subtext. Imagine a dinner-table confrontation, Jamie dissecting Adam's motives over foie gras, his fork piercing the air like a rapier, while Van Houten's character watches with veiled calculation. Or a solitary moment in the Tanner study, Jamie nursing a scotch as flashbacks to his episode of actions. A youthful indiscretion, perhaps a betrayal that birthed an empire's underbelly, flicker across his face, Duchovny's eyes betraying the crack in the facade. It's this duality that elevates Malice beyond pulp thriller. Jamie as both predator and prey, his vengeance-fueled foe mirroring his own unresolved demons. Duchovny's affinity for the monstrous ties into a broader oeuvre where darkness illuminates light. From Aquarius's haunted detective to Californication's self-sabotaging scribe, he's always gravitated toward men wrestling inner beasts. Jamie, though, marks a pivot, less tormented soul, more unrepentant force. As an actor, you have to embrace the character fully, he insists, underscoring the ethical tightrope. Make the audience loathe Jamie, yet glimpse the humanity that makes his fall poignant. Whitehall's Adam, with his tutor's playbook of subtle sabotages, poisoned advice, unearthed secrets, provides the perfect foil, their clashes building to a crescendo where power's illusion shatters. The ensemble amplifies this. Van Houten's nuanced loyalty, Laroche's rebellious spark igniting generational rifts, Alan's innocence corrupted by proximity to wealth's rot. For Duchovny, Malice is a TV comeback that feels like a declaration. At 65, he's not fading into mentor roles but charging into complexity. It's foreign to my way of thinking, he repeats, but that's the allure, pushing against type to unearth truths. As Jamie's empire crumbles, so too does the myth of invincibility, leaving viewers to ponder. Are monsters born or forged? Duchovny, with his intellectual heft and understated menace, ensures we feel the weight of both.